If you're an FPV freestyle pilot, a good freestyle video is your equivalent of a concert for a band. It's your way to show off your unique flying style, your skill, and really just your form of art as you see it. And in this case, that's flying. I'm sure many of you have seen a lot of the greats around the community, people like Vanover, Bubby, Mr. Steele, the list goes on. There's a lot of people that are just phenomenal pilots and phenomenal at making awesome videos. But what sets them apart? What makes their videos so much more entertaining to watch than the rest of the people? So today I'm going to be running you guys through what I believe those components are that make up a good video and how you can start implementing these ideas into your videos to make yours awesome as well. I believe a good freestyle video consists of 4 main components. Number 1 that we're going to talk about is your altitude and your speed. Tell me the last time you saw a top pilot in the world fly way up in the air and go really slow. You haven't. And there's a reason for that. Nobody wants to watch a boring, slow, very long video of a pilot just flying 200 feet in the air just at a snail's pace. That's not exciting. Just drop your altitude down. Fly as low as you feel comfortable and fly a little bit faster. Not to the point where you're out of control, but to the point where it's a little bit more engaging and it invokes a sense of risk or danger. Just a simple drop in altitude from, for example, above the trees to below the trees can create a sense of speed, even if you don't change your speed. Watch this next clip here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna take off here and I'm gonna go up high, up really high. And now that I'm up here, I'm going to go at a moderate speed above the trees. It looks okay, but it doesn't look that cool. Now I'm going to come back. I'm going to do the same exact speed, but quite a bit lower, about mid-tree level. And watch this. Same speed, but that looks a lot cooler. It looks a lot cooler because I'm closer to the ground. Stuff seems to be zooming by me a lot faster, even though I'm not going a different speed at all. So as you can see, you don't need that much drop in altitude to really add a lot to your videos. I probably dropped maybe 50 feet, maybe even less than that. I went the same exact path, I went the same exact speed, but it looked a lot cooler when I was a little bit closer to the ground. And of course, the lower you get and the faster you go, the more exciting the clip is going to be. You could do nothing but fly straight and make simple turns, but if you're low enough and you're going fast enough, you can make any clip look cool, no matter what the location. So this next tip is one that's also very simple, but a lot of people seem to overlook it, myself included. Make slower, more coordinated maneuvers instead of maneuvers that are fast, jerky, and don't seem to flow together. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Now I'm going to do 2 different takes here. The first one will be nice and slow, coordinated maneuvers. Everything is flowing into each other. Nothing is crazy erratic. It's just nice and smooth. High speed, low to the ground, simple flowy maneuvers. Nothing crazy. I didn't even really do any tricks on this run. Now I'm going to do another path here, similar to the first one, but it's going to be more erratic and jerky. I'm kind of just whipping around here. You know, it doesn't really seem that coordinated. The moves don't really seem to flow into one another. It's jerky on the sticks. It's just a lot less visually appealing. Jerky maneuvers. And this one even is a little bit more technical as well, in terms of tricks and proximity and, you know, level of danger. It just doesn't look as satisfying, especially to someone that doesn't fly FPV. So as you can see, even though that second line was a little bit faster, closer to the ground, a little bit more technical, it was a lot jerkier and it didn't really flow as well as the first one. And because of that, it's not as visually pleasing to watch. Like I said, especially for someone that doesn't fly FPV. Normal people, unlike us, don't like watching the fast, jerky motions that some of us FPV guys do. So just keep that in mind, especially if you're making videos for not our community. You want to have whatever you make tailor to somebody who doesn't have goggles on their face all the time like we do. Just something worth considering. I'm guilty of this as well. I think all of us FPV guys are. It's a really hard habit to break. You want to just go rip around full speed doing crazy tricks, but that's not always the best thing to do, depending on your audience. Just keep it in mind. My next point is kind of derived directly from the last one here, and that's use tricks, but only where they matter and only where they fit. Don't go throwing around crazy loop combinations or a bunch of rolls, a bunch of random spins in places that they don't really fit. Now, specifically what I'm referring to is, say you're flying really high around no real obstacles or anything, doing a bunch of loops or rolls up high in the air doesn't really make sense. I think the better option for that scenario would be to maybe you dive down to a lower altitude, or maybe you try to find some obstacle somewhere up there to kind of fly around a little bit closer proximity and higher speed. But don't just go crazy with the tricks just because you can do them. Just because you can doesn't mean you should do the tricks. Get a feel for your environment, get a feel for what kind of tricks might work in certain places. And when you come up to these obstacles or these proximity locations, just have an idea of something you might do, something in your back pocket. For example, a power loop. But just because you go through that obstacle doesn't mean that you have to do that trick. You gotta make sure it fits with the rest of the video, with the rest of your flying style in that video. The whole idea is to make the line that you're currently in, or the trick that you're doing, feel cohesive with the theme and the mood of the rest of the video. So let me plug in a battery and show you some examples here. For this flight, I'm gonna do a few different examples. First, I'm gonna go up high, and I'm gonna show you just what a bunch of tricks that don't fit look like. I'm not saying I'm not guilty of this, I'm just saying it doesn't look good. So I'm up high, right? I'm gonna do a couple rolls, a couple reverses here, a couple weird crackhead tricks. Random stuff. We'll do a power loop. We'll even do a Matty flip. Okay, so you see how it kind of looked like I was just doing a bunch of tricks in a vacuum for no real reason? It didn't make sense. There's no song choice, there's no theme or mood that would really make any of that look good. They don't make sense, they don't flow with the video. Now we're gonna do a little bit more down low here, really low, and we're gonna throw in some tricks over obstacles that make sense. See, it's a very similar style, but it fits a lot better because these gaps here are kind of suited to the tricks that I'm doing. I'm lower to the ground, I'm still doing technical stuff, but it makes a lot more sense. So that last tip, I know that can be really, really difficult to find the right balance of things. But the one thing I've learned, and I'm not saying I'm an expert at this by any means, but when you first arrive to a spot, take the first maybe first 2 packs, just to kind of explore and just flow around some of the little objects. Now, once you get an idea for some of the gaps and little areas that you can do lines or tricks or whatever through, you have a better idea of what you're capable of and what might look good on a video to a viewer. With this last one, there are so many different avenues that you can take to go about doing this or go about adding your own twist or style to it. There's no right or wrong way to do this. It's just more of something to consider. When you're flying, try to choose a song that would go with your style, or maybe just put on a song that fits your current mood or your vibe and just try to fly to it. Imagine your quad is like dancing. So you're dancing to the music that you're listening to in your headphones. That's really the best analogy I can give for this. It's kind of hard to describe. You just need to find a song that just fits your mood and fits your vibe, and you can just get into. You can get into that flow state and express your art form through your flying to that specific song. And when I'm editing videos, it takes me sometimes hours to find a song that I feel fits the video exactly right. Maybe I'm even listening to a song when I'm flying, like I mentioned, but it just, for whatever reason, when I'm editing, doesn't feel right, or the vibe just isn't right. It takes a long time to find the right music sometimes. You just gotta be patient. There's no real shortcut to this creative process. You kind of just have to find it and hope that you're inspired at the right time to make these videos. And along with the music comes the actual editing of the clips. Now, I kind of break this down into two different sections. One is making the clips visually look good. So I'm referring to like color grading, color matching, putting your own creative taste on the clips that you just got done filming. Trying to make them look a certain way to make a viewer feel a certain emotion or mood or vibe similar to what you're trying to express. I do really basic color grading. I'm not going to get into that here. That's a huge topic. That's very advanced. You can get into a lot of detail, and there's many other videos by people that know way more about it than I do. So just go and watch those if you want. And the second portion of this video editing part is to just cut the clips where it makes sense and make sure the clips flow together. So for example, you don't want to start your video off with the most impressive line, the highest action thing of the whole video. You don't want to start on that, because then once that expires, there's no reason for the user to watch the video anymore. They've already seen the most exciting, action-packed part. What you want to do is you want to draw them in with maybe some higher speed, low, flowy type maneuvers, something like that, something that says, oh, this looks kind of cool, maybe I want to keep watching that. Try going for that instead of putting your best stuff first. I like to put my best stuff in the middle, like right after the intro clip. That seems to be the kind of the sweet spot to put these types of things, but there's no real correct answer. It's kind of just up to the creator to get a feel for what looks and feels right in the moment. But a simple thing you can do to make all your videos look better is to edit to the music. Now what you want to do is don't just cut the clips randomly off beat or at a weird part in the song. Try to make the clips match the beat of the song and match different sections of the song. Try cutting your clips on like a hard drum beat or a snare or something like that. And I won't get into too much detail on that either, because again, there's tons of videos out there specifically for that topic. It's just a basic rule of thumb. Edit your video to the song that you chose. It really does help. All right, you guys, well, that's gonna do it for this one. I appreciate you following along here. I know it's kind of long and wordy, probably a little confusing, but that's because it's not a simple topic. There's many right answers to this. It's really just up to the creator to make it look good and to express their art form as they see it. But regardless, I hope this helped you guys a little bit. This was really tough for me to start learning in the beginning, this whole process and what makes a cool video, and I'm still learning. I don't think I'll ever be perfect at it. I don't think anyone's perfect, but that's kind of the beauty of it. But until next time, you guys, if you like this video, drop me a like down below. Feel free to leave me a comment, and please subscribe if you haven't. See you in the next one.
We